How do we maintain hope? Once we have discovered it and we want it, how do we maintain it? And there are certain strategies we need to close doors and to open doors so that we can live in the present moment with the risen Lord who offers us the opportunity to live in hope, in faith, in love, in the risen life even now on this earth. Hello everyone, Norma Woodcock speaking to you from Perth in Western Australia. Welcome. Welcome to the series on WOW, Words of Wisdom. It's been an absolute pleasure presenting my 12 episodes on hope, and I'd like to begin by giving a summary of those episodes and then talking about how do we maintain hope. Once we have discovered it, how do we maintain it? So in these various episodes, we talked about the sick man at the pool of Bethesda. He had no hope. Martha and Mary, their story, they lost hope when Jesus didn't show up. The prodigal son, limited or partial hope, put me on as a paid servant. The cure of the paralytic, he had friends that hoped for his healing. The story of Joseph, and we talked about inner healing of our life's journey, the trials that have come upon us, and how from conception till now we prayed for inner healing to restore hope. The blind man of Jericho, who had on that cloak that identified him as not worth very much. When Jesus called him to him, hope began for him. The appearance on the shore of Tiberias and conversion back to Jesus, first, second, third, fourth time brings hope, and how Peter had to move to Jesus and just say, I'm sorry, I let you down. And Jesus, of course, forgave. The woman with the hemorrhage, hope evident. If I can touch the hem of his garment, I shall be well again. And then the thieves on the cross, hope in death. We all need to so much have hope in the dying and the death of ourselves and others. Jesus walks on the water, and with him Peter, hope and faith working together. Peter didn't give in to doubt in that last moment when he was being overwhelmed, but he said, Lord, save me, and so must we. Paul's journey in the New Testament, growth in hope is a process, and trials have a purpose, suffering has meaning. And now, hope maintained. What do we do? Now we've had a summary of the various episodes on hope, I would like to share with you how I have learned to maintain hope in my life. Before I get into that and where I am right now, I want to go back many, many, many years. I'm going back maybe 35 to 40, it's hard to pinpoint it. But I remember sitting outside my Jesuit director's office and at Glendalough and waiting to go in to see him for my session on spiritual direction. And in front of me was a little flower bed, a simple little flower bed. It had vincas that grow anywhere, and it had jade bushes, and the sun was shining on the leaves of the jade bushes, and it had rained and the earth had been turned and I could smell it. And there were little ants crawling on the brick paving around this little simple flower bed. And I was one with it, and it was one with me. It was the most incredible experience of being in that moment and being at one-ment. Jesus died to bring atonement, that at-one-ment with him and with life and with each other is the aim. And there I was in this little flower bed moment. It was amazing. Then Father opened the door and he said, "Come in, dear." And I said, "Father, Father." And there was the little jade bushes and the ants were crawling and I was one with it and it was one with me. And he said, "It's called peace, dear." And I said, if the world knew that this is what Jesus Christ offered, they would come on their hands and knees, because I have searched for this everywhere. So then I left that place and I lost it. And I blamed my husband. And then I blamed my children. And I blamed not enough money. And I blamed a million other things that had robbed me of this peace. And then I had to learn what I teach people in the learning and the tough knocks of life that God allowed for me. And this is what I had to learn. It was my problem, and I had put down my baggage in that moment, so my lens and my deep sense of self and spirit was not clouded by my life story, and I could be in that moment and feel that oneness. It's been a long journey for me to get to where I am today. But can I tell you that my suffering and the journey God has led me on has plunged me into the sacrament of the present moment. I'm very honest whenever I teach, and I will say to you, it's not all the time. Sometimes I lose it, but most of the time I can be in the moment. The same moment I had in that little tiny flower bed experience. And even as I'm talking, I'm sure you're saying, "Norma, I experience that when I'm at the beach. I experience that when I'm in nature. I experience that oneness, that what you're talking about, I've experienced. How do I keep it?" Let God do a work in you. Let God bring you to a place where you can be birthed. The true self is only, God gives birth to it, and God alone can give birth to the true self without our baggage. And so, what do I do in this little flower bed moment that I have now? I see the ants crawling and I can be at one. Well, here's what I had to do. I had to close doors to all negative thinking. The catastrophizing about the future. Oh my goodness. I can tell when I have my beautiful, wonderful directees come into the office, I can usually tell that they're off center, they've lost that present moment awareness, and there's something has tipped them, has triggered them into the trauma of the past, the negative thinking, the regrets, the worries of the future, and we have to then recenter and know that the past is no more. We cannot do anything about it, and the future is in God's hands. You know, I was talking in my prayer to God about, you know, the past and the future, and no words, but deep down inside, this is what I sensed he was saying. The past is no more, and the future is unspoken. Remember how he spoke the worlds into existence? Remember how he spoke and it all came to be? He knows the future, but he hasn't spoken it yet in our lives. We enter into his plan for us. And that gave me an enormous peace, but because it's like, I don't have to worry about what do I do about when we move and we do this, and my husband's getting older, and it's not spoken yet. And that means that when the time is right, the planning can happen. But right now, focus on what? Not negative thinking. St. Augustine said something very wonderful, and I want to share it with you. He was talking in a homily that I managed to get my hands on. When he talked about the 4 steps to a habit of sin, he was talking about, you know, how you can think about something and then you desire it and you make a choice to do it and then you keep doing it and it becomes a habit. But what he said in the beginning of this is what I want to share now. He said, there are those who eliminate from their thinking anything unlawful that they're not even tempted. There are those that eliminate from their thinking anything unlawful that they're not even tempted. Now, why do I bring that up? I bring it up because the devil is in the world and he's always trying to trap us. And I have so many wonderful young people that I work with, and I'm saying to them, if you start thinking about that woman in the office long enough, before you know it, you're going to want to have a coffee with her or work late with her. Eliminate from your thinking anything unlawful that you're not even tempted. I use a very simple example of chocolate in the fridge. If you think about that chocolate long enough and, oh, it's going to be creamy and cold and I'm so hot and it's going to be, you will get up and you will have that chocolate. Eliminate from your thinking anything unlawful, then you're not even tempted. What does that mean? Put on some holy music, turn to prayer, go out for a walk, have a swim, do some exercise, change direction. And I have to say that right now because I've had wonderful young men that I've worked with caught up in pornography. And you have to get away from that computer, that device. And you have to go and walk, and you have to get some energy out, and you have to turn to God, and you have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you get to this place. And thanks be to God, the people that I've worked with, most of them have overcome that temptation. They've decided not to, maybe a couple in the long journey I've had, and then they don't come because they have chosen pornography. And I feel very sorry for them because it does affect intimacy in their marriage and intimacy in their life with God. So limit what you're thinking about. And Paul says it. He says in Philippians, think on what is noble and true and good. So we have to close doors. Proverbs 23:7 has been a guiding light in my journey, and this is what it says. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. And another translation says, as he thinketh, so he become. So he, she, the Bible talks about he, but he, she, you're going to think about it, you're going to become it. It's going to happen. So negative thinking has got to be stopped here and there. So that's something that I have to really work at, to close doors. I have to close doors. If the negative thinking comes in terms of, well, you shouldn't be doing this at your age anyway, and people have heard everything you've had to say, and maybe it's time that you stop. And the negative thinking comes because I'm quite sure the enemy does not want any good to happen through any of us at any time, anywhere. And I'm speaking to many ages here. I will do this until God calls me, God willing, if that is his will for me. I practice God's presence. What does that mean? It means sacramentality. I'm here in this beautiful bush setting that Shalom filming people have set me up in. And while I've been waiting for the change of the direction or the shots, I've been looking at around me at the different colours, and even the dead branches on the ground have a beauty about them. You know, God is in all of it. He is here. Jesus is everywhere. It's called sacramentality. Looking for him, practicing his presence everywhere. You know, we get busy in our minds and we miss the moment. The smile on our spouse's face, the hug from that person who's close to us, the mischievousness in the child that we have. We miss the beauty of the taste of the coffee, the smell of the coffee, because we're always somewhere else in our heads. And so to practice hope is to practice the presence of God in the moment. Open doors to the now, the beauty of the day. How do I practice the presence of God, and how do I teach people to do that? 2 ways. First is gratitude. Thank you that I have legs that walk. Thank you that I have eyes that see. Thank you that I have a taste, that I can taste the beautiful food. Thank you for the people in my life. Thank you that I have enough money coming in that I can live. Thank you I have a job. Thank you I have a family. Thank you I have a church. Thank you I have a community. Thank you I have a world. Thank you I have a purpose. Thank you I have a destiny. We could go on. Try writing down 3 things every day. Just 3 things. Pop them in your phone to be grateful for. So gratitude is one way of practicing the presence of God and just being with him in the moment. And you know the other way? I'm a needy person, needy for God. I need him to help me with everything. And some of my beautiful directees, they laugh at me because I say, I got to go to the shops and I've got to buy this and I need to know where the best price is and which is the best product. I need you to help me, Jesus. And it is amazing the way that he will guide me and lead me into simple things. I need to put down these episodes for Shalom. I need you to guide me. Please guide me. What do you want me to speak on? How do you want me to speak? Which scriptures do you want me to use? So it is, yes, the spiritual journey, but it's everyday life. Now I'm speaking to someone. I want to lose weight. Somebody is thinking, what do I do about it? Talk to Jesus about it. Don't just starve and make yourself sick so you're grumpy with your wife or your husband because you haven't had enough food. Ask him, show him. He'll show you what to cut out. God knows everything. He'll direct you to the right people that will help you if that's what you need. Whatever it is you need, get him involved. He likes it. God likes to be involved in our lives. Yes, we ask for a parking place. Please, I've got to go, give me a parking place. And people smile because they get a parking place. Why don't we try asking him about everything a little bit more? So our neediness, do you know what poverty of spirit is? I mean, I don't think I'm fully there yet, but poverty of spirit is know your need for God. That's poverty of spirit. Know your need for God. And I'm working towards needing him in everything, but sometimes I can get a bit bumptious and go on my own independent way, but most of the time I'm asking him to help me because I've tried the other and it didn't work. Can I tell you that to seek love and peace and reconciliation is how you maintain hope, because maintaining hope is maintaining the presence of God with you. To maintain hope means intimacy with him. To maintain hope means you're relying on him for everything. And you can't do that and be fighting with everyone at the same time. If you have some argument that you need to sort out, you quietly do it in a spirit of love to the very best way you can, admitting you're wrong when you are. And so there are ways to live in peace and in love and in joy. And above all, I maintain my prayer time. I believe that that is the foundation of my healing and my hope and my relationship with God. A regular prayer time, every day, talking to him about life. My prayer time has led me to, I believe, accept God's will, my will and his will. It's the divine will. It's being at one with him and accepting what he allows and accepting what he has allowed. Do you know, it wasn't until I was 70 that I was able to say to God, thank you for the privilege of suffering. I've been able to help a lot of people. It took me until I was 70. But can I tell you the joy and the peace that has come to me? I joke with my people and I say, I haven't won lotto and I haven't lost 10 kilos, but I'm happy. I'm just happy all the time. It's ridiculous. It's the inebriation of the spirit that Paul tells us we can have. Do not be inebriated with wine, he says, though I do like a glass of wine, but he says be inebriated with the spirit. There is a joy, gladness of heart that comes up within you when you can accept suffering and you can accept your life and you can say, let it be, let it be. And so now, in a moment, I would like to lead you in a meditation on Mary Magdalene, resurrection scene with Jesus, the empty tomb, to finish the series. I'd like to lead you now in an imaginative meditation on the scene of Mary Magdalene, the appearance of Jesus to Mary Magdalene, to finish this, the episodes on hope. So I'm going to invite you, if you want to close your eyes and to imagine a door, and the door has a handle. Put your hand on the handle and open the door and step out into this scene. You're in a garden and it's early morning. I want you to look around, early morning light. Look at the shrubbery. Look at the outlines of the hills in the distance. And you know why you have come here. You have come here because you want to see the tomb where they laid Jesus. So I want you to start walking up this hill where this tomb has been dug out of the side of the hill. And as you get closer to this tomb, you see a woman weeping outside. And you look at her and you recognize her as Mary Magdalene. And the next thing you notice is the stone has been rolled away. And so now I want you now to bend down and just go into that tomb. There's nobody there. The burial cloths are rolled up and the head cloth is in another place. But the tomb is empty. And here is the foundation of our faith. He is risen. And as you come out of that tomb and stand up, the sun is just peeking over the horizon. It's a new day. It's a new day for you. So now if you can look around this scene, you see a figure in the garden and you think that it's the gardener. And you call out, "Where have you put him?" And I want you to hear this person say your name, nobody else's, your name. And you recognize it is Jesus. And he is hurrying to you and you are hurrying to him. This is the risen Lord, the same yet different somehow. He shows you his hands where the nail prints had been. He points to his feet. The nail prints are not there. The nail prints are there, the nails are gone. Look at his forehead, you can see the scars where the crown of thorns had been pressed down. This is Jesus. There's something powerful about him and peaceful. And you may want to kneel now in front of Jesus as he puts his hand on your head. Lord, I pray for this person. I pray that there will be a revelation of your risen presence in their life. They will live hope-filled lives because of you. And I give you thanks that your power is flowing into them right now, making way where there was no way before. And now Jesus puts his hands on your shoulders and he just lifts you up now to your feet. Stand in front of him now. And he holds out his arms. Go into those arms and feel the love that took him to the cross for you. The risen Jesus and your now resurrected life with him on this earth, but with power and hope and love and faith. And now, because we need to leave the meditation, come back through the door. Jesus will come with you if you ask him. Be in the place you began, sitting, kneeling, lying, standing. Jesus is with you, never to leave you. When you're ready, you can begin to move and to open your eyes. So now there's nothing more for me to say except, may God bless you in your journey forward. I will pray for you and I ask that you pray for me. And one day we will talk about the WOW series. When we are there in the life hereafter with our Lord, we can then talk about what he has done in our lives and maybe what he has caused you to do for others. This is Norma Woodcock from Perth, Western Australia, saying thank you for tuning in. God bless you and God bless your journey. Amen.
Are you searching for purpose of life? Discover your true identity. Stay tuned to Shalom World.